Hey guys, Leanne here from Avoiding Broke. Thank you so much for joining me for this podcast. I'm so pleased you're here on this lovely Sunday. I really hope you're well, firstly. And today I want to talk about commitment. Now, I think on the face of it, commitment seems like such a simple thing. You know, if you say you're committed to something, you're going to see it through, you're going to get it done. And I think we maybe take for granted that, you know, if we say we're committed to something, then we're actually going to do it. But I don't think it's as simple as that. And so that's why I really wanted to talk about commitment today. Now, I think commitment shows up in so many different things. We often think about, you know, you're committed to a person, or you're committed to a task, or you're committed to a way of life. These different things. Commitment shows up so often in our daily lives. But I also wonder how often we say that we're committed to something and then our actions actually show something different. Now, for me, I know that is definitely the case at the minute in terms of exercise. Jermaine and I talk so often about being committed to getting healthier, exercise, and what the benefits that brings to our lives. And we can see the huge benefits in being fit and healthy in terms of the length of our lives, which then translates into the time that we get to spend together and with our little boy Theo. But actually, if we look at our actions, nobody would believe they were actually committed to that, even though deep down we feel a really strong commitment to it, but we're not showing that in action. So I think there must be something more to commitment than just saying you're committed, and even a feeling that you're committed. It has to flow through into your actions as well. And this is one of these things that, you know, Jermaine and I have been talking about, and it's something that we're going to address. You know, what is behind this? How are we going to put our commitment that we say and that we think into actions that we actually can then show our commitment to the world? And I think that's kind of a really good example, I think, of why commitment is so important, because there is this kind of interplay between what you think, what you say, what you actually do. And then there's this other element as well in there, which is your emotions and how your emotions play into commitment. And actually, I've got another story about this too. So Jermaine and I wanted to sort out our garden because we thought, you know, with everything going on in the world today, we're probably not going to be going anywhere on holiday this year. And any of you that actually know us personally will know how important holidays have been to us in our relationship and in our lives. And we spent a lot of time traveling because it was important to us. So we said to ourselves, right, we know we're probably not going to be traveling this year. We want to make sure that we can try and recreate the experience that we have when we're traveling at home, so we can enjoy that time together. So it's a very simple thing. We said, right, we want to buy some garden furniture so that when the sun is out, we can go and spend some time in the garden and try and recreate that holiday. And we said to ourselves, we're going to order the garden furniture that we want by the end of the weekend. So this was from Friday. It got to Sunday. As anyone who's also in a relationship knows, sometimes you fall out. So Jermaine and I had fallen out, and we still had this commitment that we wanted to get the garden furniture done, but my emotions took over and I wasn't thinking rationally about this. I didn't have anything into perspective, and we had fallen out. And instead of me actually showing my commitment to getting that garden furniture, was obviously something that we wanted to buy together, I was like, no, I'm going to bed. I don't want to talk to you. You've annoyed me. I'm going to bed. But if you'd asked me if I was committed to the experience that we wanted to have in our garden, the time that we wanted to spend together in our garden, that holiday experience that we were trying to create, I would have said yes. I was completely committed to that. But my emotions had come in and interplayed with that commitment, and I didn't want to talk to Joanne, and I didn't then end up doing the garden furniture. And I think to myself, does that really show commitment? You know, how can I separate this one thing from the other? I could have still been annoyed with Jermaine and not wanted to talk to him and still wanted to take some time away from him. But actually, I still could have met my commitment to buy that garden furniture, and we could have spoken to him and said, right, this is my view. This is what I think we should buy. Let's do it. And then I'm going to have my time to myself. But I didn't. I let my emotions get the better of me in that sense, and that then overtook from my commitment. And I think then that can also play in a different way as well, in terms of sometimes when you're really emotional about something, you're really invested in something, then that really helps you keep your commitments. And one of the biggest ones that I think about here is our little boy Theo. No matter what is going on in my life or anything like that, Theo will always get the care and attention that he needs, obviously. So I just think there, my emotions there means no matter what's happening, Theo is going to get what he needs. And so I think there, you can see on the one hand how my emotions there really meant that I didn't get the outcome that I wanted in terms of showing my commitment and what I had committed to. And then on the other hand, you see how my emotions actually mean that my commitment is just unwavering there. And I think then it's important to think about our emotions and then how they do interplay with our commitment, and how sometimes we need to step back and think about how we're feeling. Why are we having this reaction to something? You know, what is our ultimate goal? We may need to just remind ourselves actually of what we are committed to and what it means, and why we actually are working so hard to get there, and actually how every part of our lives and our emotions and our thoughts and our feelings and any fears and insecurities or anything like that, how that all intertwines, but how we can recognize it, reflect on it, and actually use it to serve us. Like, how many times have you maybe, I know this happens to me a lot, have a lot going on and you feel like you've got so much to do, there's so much going on, and actually it ends up meaning that you don't do anything because those emotions have taken over. Whereas if we had stepped back, I know for me personally, if I'd have stepped back, if I'd have wrote a list, okay, we had a great example of this on Friday as well, where I had so many different things going on and I felt like I wasn't actually doing what I needed to do. And Jermaine stepped in and was like, Leanne, look, let's just strip this back. Let's make this simple. There are only 4 things in this world that we really actually care immensely about. He wrote them on our whiteboard, and it was true. And it encapsulated, the 4 things that he wrote on that whiteboard encapsulated everything in my life that I truly care about, and that if I would want to make sure that my commitment to those wasn't unwavering. And then when you strip it back like that, then you think, okay, actually, just simplify things. It took all of the emotion out of it, the negative emotion out of it, and I could then put some positive emotion into it and think, yep, do you know, I really care about these 4 things, and so that's what I'm going to focus on. And then I don't need to worry about anything else because it doesn't actually matter. And it was so enlightening actually how then I felt so much better after that. I was like, yeah, felt more focused. I could see the things that I needed to get done. My commitment was then unwavering. It was still there. And so hopefully those examples are giving you some insights into how I'm thinking about commitment, and how actually we say that we are committed to a lot of things. And this is what happened to me on Friday. I had all these different commitments pulling me in different areas, and I didn't think that I was doing very well on any of them. But then actually just that simple, you know, step back. Let's take it up a level, okay? Let's get out of the weeds. Let's get out of all of that detail. Let's take it up a level and think, actually, what is key here? What is important? Where does your commitment need to be? And I think then hopefully what this has also shown is that we can say we're committed, we can show actions, and we can still be acting, but actually take it up a level, step back, reflect, think about how you're feeling, how you're thinking, what your emotions are at the time, and then actually see, is this serving me and what I ultimately want to do? And if we do that regularly enough, when we're in these situations where we don't quite think things are working out the way that we would like them to, I think that it can really help get perspective and refocus on what is actually important. So I really hope this has been helpful for you, really help you hopefully to think about some of the things that you're committed to, and when, you know, how you show that commitment, what it means to you to be committed to it. And so for me, like I've spoke about in this video, one of the things that it really means to me about being committed is no matter what else is going on, I still want to turn up in a way that is important to me and that I can be proud of in terms of the things that I have commitments to, and whether that's things that I've committed to do for myself, things that I've committed to do with, say, like Jermaine, or anything else that I've kind of committed to, like our health, one that we've spoken about at the beginning of this podcast. So there, I've kind of shared some thoughts with you about how I'm thinking about commitment at the minute, and how it's not just as easy to say, right, I'm committed, yep, I feel like I'm committed and I'm going to, then everything's going to work out. No, sometimes we need to take action, sometimes we need to step back and reflect on things, and sometimes we just need to take things up a level and think about actually what is the most important. Why is this a commitment of mine? And it's fine to think about those commitments and change them if something isn't working for you, and think like, I've said that this is a commitment for me and that is something that I really want to work towards, but actually that's not the case. That's absolutely fine to do, and gives you the room then to work on the things that you actually do want to work on and that you are after reassessing that you are committed to. So guys, I really hope you found that useful, and thank you for coming on this journey with me in terms of my thoughts and reflections on commitment and what it actually means. And like I said, I hope you found it useful, and until next week guys, you take care. I hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll see you again next week. Okay, take care guys.